From a quiet German town, an invisible force tugged at a 5-year-old boy. In March 1879, in the city of Ulm, a child named Albert Einstein was born. He would grow to become the face of genius. Yet his story is far more than just a celebration of intellect. It is the story of wonder, rebellion, moral burden. At age 5, Einstein's father showed him a simple electric compass. The needle spun, deflected, and Albert felt the invisible. What was it that moved the needle without being seen? That question lit a flame that would burn his entire life. He later described that moment as the beginning of the mystery that haunted him into adulthood. The young Einstein grew up in Munich, but he never felt in sync with the rigid, formal schooling he encountered. He was a thinker, not a conformist, and so his journey began, away from expectation toward discovery. Chapter 1. By the time he was in his early 20s, Einstein worked at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern, far from the grand lecture halls of academia. Yet it was here, in the humblest of places, that the miraculous happened. In 1905, a year now known as his Annus Mirabilis, he published not one but 4 landmark papers. He tackled Brownian motion, the photoelectric effect, the special theory of relativity, and the equivalence of mass and energy. It was as though he pulled the rug out from under 19th century physics and replaced it with something entirely new. Imagine, up until then, space and time were fixed. Gravity was simply a force acting at a distance. But Einstein asked, what if time itself is a dimension? What if mass and energy are the same thing? He rewrote the rules. Kirk MC2, that simple equation became the symbol of transformation. A tiny mass could unleash enormous energy, light, matter, time, everything connected. The world didn't immediately understand, but the universe never looked the same again. He published his special theory of relativity. Moving near the speed of light, time dilates, lengths contract, simultaneity vanishes. Then, 10 years later, his general theory of relativity in 1915 expanded the vision. Gravity is curvature in the fabric of space-time. When an eclipse in 1919 provided observational proof of his theory, light bending around the sun, the world took notice. Einstein became famous not just for his wild hair, but for changing reality. But genius made him vulnerable. He became a target for ideology, politics, war. The same science that gave hope also carried potential for destruction. Chapter 2. Einstein's personal journey was never separate from his scientific one. Born into a secular Jewish family in Germany, he faced rising anti-Semitism as early as the 1930s. When the Nazi regime took power in Germany in 1933, scientists like Einstein were branded Jewish physics and stripped of their positions. Einstein fled to the United States and accepted a position at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton. In 1940, he became a U.S. citizen, yet he kept his Swiss citizenship locked in his heart. But the heavy irony, Einstein's theories laid the foundation for nuclear power, and by extension, the atomic bomb. Although he did not build the bomb, he signed a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1939, warning of the German nuclear program. Einstein's moral compass, his humanity, was challenged. He became a voice for peace, for civil rights, for nuclear disarmament, believing that science must come hand in hand with conscience. Einstein was more than a scientist. He was a philosopher, a violin player, a social thinker. Music calmed him. He often said his violin practice helped him think deeply. He once said, "Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile." His legacy is not only measured in equations, but in the questions he asked of humanity. Even after his triumphs, Einstein was restless. He pursued for the remainder of his life a unified field theory, an attempt to merge gravity, electromagnetism, and all forces into one grand framework. He never succeeded, yet there is beauty in the pursuit. Einstein's greatest reward may have been the continuous challenge of the unknown. In 1921, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics, not for relativity, still controversial, but for his explanation of the photoelectric effect. His life demonstrated that even the greatest victories leave room for mystery. Einstein's ideas continue to ripple today. The detection of gravitational waves, the verification of space-time curvature, Bose-Einstein condensates, and even the search for a theory of everything. He once described God's role in the universe with a famous line, "God does not play dice." And yet in quantum mechanics, randomness and probability became central. This tension between the deterministic and the probabilistic is still echoes. Einstein's story reminds us discovery is never final. There is always another layer, always another question. Chapter 4. Behind the beard and the theories was a man of simple habits. He disliked socks, he enjoyed sailing, and he held a spoon in his hand when drifting to sleep, hoping a quick drop would wake him with a new insight. He loved humor. The iconic photo of him sticking out his tongue reminds us that genius can be playful. Einstein's personal life was complex: 2 marriages, children, and the struggle between family and work. He once acknowledged that time spent alone thinking was his greatest luxury and his greatest cost. His stateless period before Swiss citizenship, his escape from Nazi Germany, his new life in America, all illustrate that genius often moves amidst turmoil. And as he approached his final years, he said, "I want to go when I want. It is tasteless to prolong life artificially. I have done my share, it is time to go." There is bravery in that acceptance. Chapter 5. What did Einstein change? The world's view of space and time. The idea that time could flow differently, that mass-warped space, that energy and mass are convertible. Physics would never be the same. Modern technologies like GPS systems rely on relativity corrections. His work laid the foundation for entire branches of physics, yet his legacy goes beyond equations. It's about the mindset. Question everything, challenge assumptions, and imagine what seems impossible. He once refused to become the first president of Israel, saying he lacked the natural aptitude for the position. His humility, his humanity, his humor, these complement his genius. As science pushes into quantum gravity, dark matter, unification, the spirit of Einstein lives on.
He opened doors, we are still walking through them.
So what can we learn from Albert Einstein? Firstly, a child wondering at a compass needle grew into a man rewiring the cosmos. Secondly, the greatest breakthroughs often come in quiet places, patent offices, late nights, curious minds. Thirdly, genius demands more than intellect, it asks for moral purpose. And finally, the search must never end. Einstein didn't leave us all the answers, but he left us the pursuit. If you look into the night sky, remember, time flows, space curves, light bends, and somewhere within you lies the same wonder that moved a young boy in Ulm to ask, why? Albert Einstein died on April 18, 1955 in Princeton, New Jersey. Yet his ideas live on in every GPS gadget, every particle collider, every mind daring to ask the question one more time. Thank you for joining this journey. If you enjoyed this story of brilliance and heart, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more unforgettable stories of visionaries, rebels, and the unknown. Until next time, keep wondering.